Okay, Paul here, and I'm continuing to work on this Crosley, and we got the capacitors in from Mauser, so we're ready to mount the correct capacitors in here and do a recap of the wax paper capacitor. So we have, let's see, I ordered these I ordered earlier. I got 8.2 at 500 volts, and I got plenty of those, so they go here. So this is cap 1 that goes to ground. These go to ground. That's cap 1 cap positive. Let's see. Cap 1 positive. This must be cap 2 positive, yes. And this is the ground. And this is ground of 2 caps. Okay, that goes to the ground of the 2 caps, and then to ground of 2 caps and to chassis, yeah, and that goes to the chassis as well, which was jumping here. So we will put the capacitors, thinking we'll put them in here. This is a nice little tray here that we can mount them on. And we'll take that out. I'm hooked up. Because they had, what did they do to tape this shut? Okay, Mauser, why would you do that? Take that off of that. I don't need that. Okay, they had them connected together. That was the problem. Yeah, and on the can, one was burnt, one was good. Now I remember that. Okay. So we need 4 of these. Okay, and let's get these are smoothing capacitors for to remove what we used to call back in the day pulsating DC. And basically what you have going through them is AC through the rectifier tube. It comes out the other side, it's AC with a DC ripple on it. And back in the day, okay, 9.4, we'll use those. Back in the day, we used to call that pulsating DC because it's DC, it's only going in one direction, but it goes up in value and it comes down, and it goes up and it comes down. And so that was pulsating. And then as you use the smoothing capacitors, or filter capacitors is what we call them. Actually, they were originally called filter condensers. As you use filter condensers, it would get rid of some of the peak, and it would smooth it out, and it would have what we would call a ripple. Well, now they just call it a ripple or DC, an AC ripple or whatever. But okay, these are really small. Those 4. Let's see if I can pick them all up in one nice little bundle here. Okay, those 4 there replace this can and that box. Isn't that amazing? Okay. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and hook them in and recap the radio, and then get this out of the way, get all the big caps out of the way. While I'm working, I don't need this in my way. And we'll be able to see, you know, how it sounds when we get to the point of, at that point, then we can go ahead and put them in here. So before we put these in, we got them, and when we get ready to power it up again, we will put them in. Before we do that, we're going to go ahead and recap the actual unit itself. Now this one has capacity here, and it has a metal band going around it with wires connecting to it, which are off this capacitor here. They come off this capacitor, and that's the positive. I got to find that on the schematic. It connects to the volume control. Actually, that's the tone control. And it goes to this white wire, which goes to the capacitor. And it also has a black wire here, which is going to the rectifier tube. Not the rectifier, the output, one of the output amplifiers here. Okay, it's going to the output amplifier, and it goes to pin 2. So it goes to pin 3, probably the plate of the output tube. And so it's pulling off there somehow. And then this joker goes to pin 2 of the same tube, the amplifier. So let's find that. That would be the 42. There should be two 42s. Let's see which one it is here. Yeah, it would be that big old guy, but this one here should be a 42. Yes, it is. Okay, so these two 42s are connected together, and it's connecting to this one here, which doesn't really matter because you put the light back in there. They're jumping together. In other words, pin 2 here has a wire. I don't know if you can't see that, but there's a wire there coming up that goes to pin 2 of that tube. They're the same. And pin 3, same thing. Has a wire going to the plate. There, actually, the plates, yeah, they are connected together. So the grids are connected together, the plates are connected together, and even the catheters are connected together. The filaments are obviously connected together. Screen grids are not connected together. Yeah, they are. Screen grids are connected together too. So they're totally in parallel, both of those tubes. So let me pull up a schematic on the 42. Pin 2 is the plate, and pin 3 is the grid tube. So that's where the screen grid. So that's where those connect. This connects to the screen grid and the capacitor, and this connects to itself connects to the tone control, one-ended tone control, and goes to the plate. So I'm going to go back to the schematic and find that. Here it is. Connects to the plate, and okay, yeah, connects from here. From here. To the screen grids. That would be this 27. Goes from the screen grids to the plate. No, from the control. Yeah, that's the only thing on there. I'm off that tone control. I must be looking at the wrong tone control. Comes off the tone control. That's all it goes to, yes, okay. Comes off the tone control, the other side goes to the screen grid, which would be pin 3, pin 2. That's the plate. Going to the plate. Right. 28 and 27 are both going to the screen grid. So what in the world is this? I'm not seeing this on there. From the plate to the tone control. From the plate the center of the tone control. No, this is not the center of the tone control. This is the outside in. They're showing it going to here. Okay, so it's wired a little differently. That's going to the plate from the center of the tone control. Yeah, that goes directly to the plate. So the other side of it, which is this side, goes to this capacitor, and it says it goes to the screen grid. But it's not, it's going to the plate. Why is it saying that? Pin 2 of 42. Pin 2. Yeah, plate. Look at that. 27 and 28 of these two guys. There's a .8 and a .5. There's two capacitors here. How is that working? .8 and .5. Let's see if we can measure these. Well, that's .15. And to here, that's .15. And from here to here, that's nothing. So that's nothing. So we do have a capacitance between this side and here. .14 or 1.5. And from this side to there, nothing. I thought I just had a signal there. Okay, so we got 1.5 here and 1.5 here, which means these are connecting to the same thing. Or through the tube. No. That would be my center. This is going to the center. So the plate is going to the center. This is showing this going from the outside to the center of the tone control. It goes through 27 this way, through 27 to get to the screen grid. So from here to here, we go to the screen grid. Should I turn that back on? But we got nothing there. That's bad. Yeah, we have no capacitance there. It was strange to me when I was checking it, because if I had it from here to here and here to here and here to, but nothing here to here, that really doesn't make sense. Because if you got it from here to here and from here to here, you have to have something from here to here. But I'm not getting anything from here, there to there. It's not reading it, at least. I'm sure there's something. I'll have to pull that tube. Yeah, because I'm getting a signal there. I'd have to pull both tubes because they're connected together. Let me pull them out. It figures I picked the most difficult one to start with, but that's because I need to know what that's doing. Alright, that shouldn't make any difference with those tubes in, because they have capacitance, but not a lot. Right there, 0.148. Here, nothing. That's so friggin' weird. How are we getting one from here to here? Through this. Yes. We're reading across the tone control. Okay. So we got a problem there. I'm going to have to unsolder this to see what we got with going on with it. What I'm thinking now is this may actually have a wire going into the outside foil, and it might have let go with age, because this band seems awfully loose. And so we're still getting a reading across it, but we're not getting a reading through it. Let me go ahead and unsolder it. I'll take it out of circuit and see what that thing is doing. Alright, that's that side. And let me go ahead and unsolder. Let me unsolder it here. That don't even look like an original wire. This looks like somebody put this in here. Because all the other wires are cloth covered, and this is not cloth covered. This is plastic coated. I'm thinking somebody did work on this radio, because I'm not seeing any other plastic coated wire anywhere in this set. I'll probably replace it with a cloth covered wire anyway. Let me just cut it out. Okay, so that one and this one went to that strap. So we'll just twist them together for now. And can you see? Yeah, you can see down there. And then this side, it's down there. I'm gonna just cut it out here. Okay, now we can evaluate it better. So it went from here to there on the inside. From the strap side, it went to those two that are wrapped together. And you can see it's long gone as far as any writing on there. But it is a double capacitor, one inside of another one. See? And it has a polarity of some sort. Let's see if we can clean that up. And it was in this way. The band on the left side. Let's see if somehow we can get that looking clean so we can figure out what's going on with it. I doubt it, but it's worth a try. Oh, I'm getting somewhere. It just collected a lot of dust through the age of the radio. Okay, there's no reading it, unfortunately. Get the light on it. It's a Cornell. New York. New York City, New York, USA. Aha, 0.05 by it must be 0.08. So it's a 0.05 and a 0.08. So we can get a little bit more off that. some of it's missing, and that's where that red stuff is. Okay, there's the part number, W25517. And the log is common. Okay. So 0.05 and 0.08 is what we're supposed to have to the common log. Well, now we know. 400 volts DC. So, not bad. We'll have no trouble replacing it. 0.05, 0.08. Let me check that part number. 255, 172. And I believe that's what it said in the diagram. 10, 11, 258, 57. 255, 17. Well, it's so dang close. That's it. Oh, no, it wasn't 2011. What was that? Hold on. 28 and 29. My bad. Sorry. Yep, there it is. 255, 17. 0.008 and a 0.05. So it's 0.008. There's two zeros there. I thought it was 0.08 because of the red, where the label is gone. That's under the label, that red. But it's actually 0.008 and 0.05. So let's go ahead and put that back in with the right values. 0.05 and a 0.008. I'm using the standard one, so we'll do a 0.0068, which is a 0.007. It's the closest they make today. So these are the two that are going in there, that are replacing that. Let me go ahead and turn this where you can see better. Okay, so we're going to put these in the place of that. Now we got to figure out which one is which. We know they both go to the lugs, so basically they go like this. Like that. One wire out there, one wire out there, they both go to the lugs, but we got to figure out which one goes where. So that's the next thing I got to look at. And so, coming from the plate and going, well here, they come from this, from the main capacitor. They got them coming from the capacitor and from the screen grid, pin 3. From the screen grid to the lug. So, let's check the schematic and see if that's what they have. From the screen grid to the lug, yes. And the lug goes down to, the field coil, which means this goes to the field coil. Here, comes up here. Yeah, it connects to up there, and it also goes, where are you? Here, connects to this little coil. So apparently that's B plus. Through the field coil to the 30. Yeah, it connects to one of, yeah, here it is. Connects to the 30, which is one of the 8s in here. And there it is there. We put it in here. Oh, it's this 8 here. The bottom 8 that was in the can. Doesn't matter, they're all going to be the same value now, so no matter which 8 we connect it to, it's going to have to be that one though, because it's the one that goes to the field coil. Where are they showing the field coil? That's over here, which would be pin, looks like pin 3. Yeah, that would be pin 3. They're the same. So this one would connect to there. There's a wire there going down. There it is, behind. And yes, it connects to pin 3 right here. Okay. So the lug connects there, which is that one. That is pin 3, and it connects to pin 3 up here, which connects to the field coil, which we will be replacing this mess of wires to. And they also got it connecting to one of the 8s, which is connecting to that 8. I'm not sure that's the correct 8 for it to go to, but it looks like it is. Why I say that is, again, this is not an original wire. This has been added. So we don't know what they did. Remember, one of the cans was bad and they put that capacitor on the outside? So when they did that, they also replaced this wire down to here, to the lug of this capacitor. But I would assume that that's the right one. It's going to a capacitor that also goes to this coil and to this tuner at the top. So that is correct. And that's where we want it. Now that's the lug. Now we need to determine these, and this was in this way. We need to determine these. So the part that goes from the lug to the top end of the tuning capacitor, let me turn this again so you can see it a little better. We're tracing the part that goes from here up to here, this top part. And on the schematic, coming from the lug, going to the top end. That's the only end connected. They're showing that to be the only end connected. This is coming in here. So this is the line cord. So this is the switch from here to here. And these two and this is when it clicks, right? No. Yeah, just the switch. Okay, so this is the center. That's what was throwing me off. I was thinking this is part of the, usually a volume control you have 3. You have the wiper, the high end, and the low end. But in this case, that's not the way it is, even though that's the way it looks, just like any other potentiometer. The actual way this one's going is, this is a switch, this is a switch, and you got the wire back here. You got 1, 2, 3. So this is the center, which is going down here and connecting to this side. So from the center to the lug is what we need. From the center to the lug, we have 27, number 27. The lug is in between them. From the center to the lug. Yeah, we have 27. And 27 of that unit is the .008. So from, which one is this one? From here, we got the .008 going to the lug wires, those that we twisted together there. Okay, so that's that. That's this. Now this will be the .05, or 0.0473, 47 in the case of this one. And that would be number 19. Number .05. That should be a 2. .05, that's wrong. Not wrong. Let's make sure. This should be .05. The 3 threw me off. Yeah, 4 would be 0.4. Yes, 0.05. Okay. So this one should be this one, which would go from there to the center, to there. These would connect together. And so that's 0.05, and let's check that out. It should come from the plate. We're going from the lug, or from the joint, to the plate. From the joint to the plate is 27. 27. I got it backwards. 27 is the 0.08. I do have it backwards. So you got to keep checking to make sure you got it right. Okay, so from the plate to the joint is 0.08. And I'll show that on a schematic in a little bit before we actually do it. From the volume control, tone control to the lug, we should have the 0.05. Which would be 28. 0.05. 28 goes from the side of the volume control. Okay, so this is the side of the volume control. That's so weird. I mean, tone control. That's weird that that's there. That looks like the center because you got one here, one here, one here, but that's not the center. That's so weird. Okay, that's what's throwing me off is this tone control. It goes from there to the lug. And yes, that's where it goes. From there to the lug. From one end to the lug. So let's check that. And we will do that on the ohm scale. Let's find the center, the wiper. According to that, this is not the wiper. So from here to here, move this. No, that's acting like the wiper. Maybe that's the wiper. Let me go from this one to this one. Wait a second. Yeah, like that. Okay, yes. This one down here is the wiper, which is going to directly to the plate. So the wiper, yes, on the schematic goes directly to the plate. So this is the wiper. This is the opposite end from the wiper, and it goes to the screen grid. So the wiper goes to the plate. This one goes to the screen grid, which goes through 28 to get to the screen grid. 28 is the 0.005, which is this one, and that takes it from there to the screen grid. Yes, pin 3. Okay, so that's how it goes. This is what was throwing me off, is this potentiometer here. Okay, what they have, and this one goes to there, so that's part of the switch. This goes to, that's the transformer primary. This one's connected directly to the primary. That's all this does. These two are separated, and that's the switch. This is just a tie point. These are together. This is one end of the resistor. This is the sweeper of the resistor. So let me show you what's going on and why it was confusing me so much. Okay, normally when you have a volume control, you have a line coming in, and then you have a resistor, and then you have a line coming out, and you have a sweeper coming in the middle, right? And so that sweeper, as you're turning the knob, would go close to this one and close to this one. So as you're turning the knob up, this resistance would go down as you turn it. As you turn it down, this resistance would go down and this one would go up. They reverse. As this goes up, this would go higher because it's more resistance. This one would go down because it's less resistance. Meanwhile, you have a switch here. Which is the on-off switch. And so when you turn it on, it connects these two together. Well, that would be in one control, right? Like this control here. And that's what you would have. So you would have 5 terminals to connect to, right? And so the switch would be 2, and then this would be the 3 for this potentiometer, okay? This, you see it has, if I turn it this way, it has 3 together, just like a potentiometer, just like this, where you would think this is the sweep, this is one end, and this is the other end, but that's not the case, which is really freaky, but that's because this is 1932, and it's a specialized control. So what they do have is they have this switch up here. So in this unit, if I drew it out, it's a square box, first off, it's not even round, like normal. It has 2 wires here, which is the switch, okay? And that connects those 2 together. It has a wire here, which is one end of the resistor. It has a wire here, which is the sweep for the resistor. It has a wire here, which goes nowhere. It doesn't connect to nothing. All it is a tie point for 2 wires to go together, one from the line cord, one from the go into the transformer. So it's just a tie point. Do you see how confusing that is when this is standardized and this isn't? Nothing like this. This doesn't have a connection on this end. This only goes from low resistance to high resistance. Of course, these two, totally foreign, right? Because they don't do that. This is what they do. This is how they're all done. In fact, even in the 1920s, they were doing them like this. But this Crosley has it like this in this square box. So weird. And I'll show you that on a schematic. So let's take a look at that. I know these are right, and I'll show you that too. This one goes to the outside, and this one is the center. So this is the center tap, goes directly to the screen grid. The outside goes to the 0.5 microfarad capacitor. That ties together with the screen grid here and this capacitor that they put that wire in, and then the other side goes to the plate of the 0.008. So let's look at that, because that is so weird, and I want you to see that. I'll be right back. Okay, and here's where we have it. There's 27 and 28. 27 is 0.008, so it's the smaller of the two. 28 is 0.05, it's the bigger of the two, so they're in order. 0.008 and 0.05. If we come over here, here are the 2 output tubes. Here is the, and I'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay, here is the tone control. Like I was saying, you have 1 wire on one side of the resistor, then you have the resistor, and normally you would have a wire connected on the other side. This one doesn't have that. It's not connected to nothing. So it's just a 2-wire potentiometer, a sweep and one end, and that's it. The 28 is the bigger, right? The 0.05. It goes from the end up to the screen grid. The 27 is the smaller, it's the 0.006 or 0.008. It comes off the wiper and goes up and connects to the plate up at the top here. Comes down, connects to the plate of these two tubes. They're connected together. They are joined together in the middle. The 27 and the 28 are connected together here. They connect at the screen grid. And they connect here on this capacitor, number 30, which is one of the 8s. And that's exactly what we got. They connect together, those two wires we twisted together there. That black wire goes directly to the screen grid. The white wire is the one that they added, which comes up here and connects to one of the 8s, number 30. So that's exactly what we have. 0.05 here, 0.0068 or 0.008, it doesn't matter, it's just smoothing. Goes there, and that replaces these two. So I'm going to go ahead and start replacing caps. You've seen me replace caps before. We've got the 2 8s here that replace this can, and then we got 2 8s that go down here. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and take this box out, and this is actually, is that an 8? Yeah, that's an 8.2. So I've got more of these, so I'm going to put, is that a 500? No, that's a 450. So I'm going to change that to one of the new ones we got, which are 500 volts. I'm going to put one there, one here, and 2 down here. Now I might move them all down here, but this is where these 2 were originally. Maybe when I take this box out, I might find a good place to put 2 there and 2 here, just like they are now, were originally. 2 where the box is, 2 down here. So, and that just goes to ground. I know it goes to ground, so no problem. And this one, I can just put it right across there. There's nothing wrong with that, because that's where it connects anyway. And it shouldn't give me a problem, but if I need to, I'll move it down here so it's not so close to these tubes. Get it away from them and bring it back down there near the box. So that's what I'm going to do. When I get all that done, I'll show it to you, and we will continue from there. So I've got those to change up there. And then we can test it again, and then we'll be ready for an IF tune. So that's where we're at. Let me get it recapped, and we'll continue. Okay, I got this radio recapped. I put 2 electrolytics here, and they're nice and tight. They're not going to move, and that's where that box was. Good thing I took that box out. You see how it was rust in the chassis there? It was just electrolytic leaking out of the back of the capacitor. Anyway, I got those there. I mounted these here with a wire tie. I ran a new wire for the speaker and field coil, all cloth wrapped wire, and that'll connect to the speaker. And I put a new grommet in here with a heat shrink. And this is one of those heat shrinks that has the glue in it, so it's nice and strong. And I put a wire tie on that. It's a strain relief so the wire won't slide out, and I also wire tied it here. So that's a nice tight cable, not going to go anywhere. I changed all the capacitors. I changed a couple of resistors. Got to clean out the chassis still a little bit. Stuff was dropping from where I was working. But I got that much done. And the next thing will be to hook up the speaker. And we'll do this in the next video. We'll hook up the speaker and the field coil. We'll do turn it back on, do an IF alignment, and continue working on it, cleaning it up. I didn't check that power resistor yet. I got to check that, but I'll do that. And these controls, I may have to take them out and service them, but I'm going to see if I can spray through there from inside here and clean them out. If not, I'll have to remove them. I got some bushings on order for the tuning capacitor to replace those that are bad. When they come in, that's what I'll do. And before we do the IF tune, I want to get those bushings in. Also, there was 1 weak tube, I believe, in this unit that I ordered a tube for. So Yeah, 58. I had a 58 down to 54%, which is definitely not good. So I ordered a tube for that. It should be in any time, but I'm waiting on the bushings anyway, so that's not a big deal. So I'll go ahead and get this video uploaded, and we will continue when those parts come in and get this unit in tip-top working shape. So anyway, I appreciate you watching the video, and I'd consider an honor if you like the video. If you got any questions or comments, please leave them and I will answer them. And thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day and a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to all of y'all. Thank you.